Oh my God.
Any comment, Mitch?
No, I just want to jump in. I'm jumping in here. Obviously, I'm friends with Rachel, so I want to say thanks and shout out to her. Got a lot of tracks on time. My phone was on silent, so I'm glad you guys took good care of her, and you guys are having great conversations. And I'll just throw in, we can probably shift gears, but clearly the left doesn't like having being consistent, right? They don't like being logical, right? We have come to the point where what is a woman? We have come to the point where they can't define life, and obviously there's a big thing about Roe versus Wade. I don't know if we want to shift gears already, but they don't want to
Yes.
define what is life. They don't want to define life as in conception, a heartbeat. They like life could be after birth, And so I don't know if we want to go ahead and shift gears and talk about the historic overruling of Roe versus Wade.
I think
Thank
it's
you,
a good
Mitch.
time.
That is very monumental. I think we should. I think we should. For the sake of those audience or viewers, especially Filipinos in the Philippines, and there are some Filipinos who are watching us, what is Roe v. Wade? Roe v. Wade is actually happened in 1973 when abortion became a federal ruling. And after 50 years, it was overturned. In other words, the government came in to give a go signal to abortion all over the United States. Now, the overturn of the Roe v. Wade that happened in 1973 after 50 years, which happened a few days ago, it's not, somebody asked me, a Filipino asked me what it meant and what is happening now. The Roe v. Wade is now turned back to the states. The people of each state will decide whether they would like to have it as a law in their particular state. That is why the liberals are very, very unhinged because of what happened. Yeah, thank you for that. Go ahead. Somebody
Mitch,
jump in. Add it.
Yeah,
Mitch,
I'll,
because
I'll
there's
go.
something.
June, do you want to go in?
No. I want you to get the.
Yeah, so I'll jump in and say, we already a month ago we already saw the draft leak. We don't know who leaked the information here, and so it was kind of surprising to me and a lot of conservatives out there that this would actually went through. We thought like something would go on in which this would never happen. The left would try to find some way in to the point where they already have intimidation over these justices' houses, and then obviously an assassination attempt for Brett Kavanaugh. And so we would think that this would actually happen. And for this historic happening, it's mind blowing. And of course, for my fellow Catholics, this happened all on Friday, which was the Solemnity of the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Also, people pointed out if you put those dates together, so it was June 6th, right? 2024, if you add those two numbers, it would be 6. And then 2022, if you add those numbers together, is 6. So it would be 666. And so Jesus won on over 666. And so I don't know if you want to throw your ideas in there, but I think it is. But the point being that this is monumental, right? I know for the left, a lot of them are panicking, a lot of them are fear mongering, a lot of them are like all this stuff. But when the point comes to it, I think it's overall good when we're not sacrificing our own children. And, it is also monumental, especially for those in the pro-life movement, that this is a victory for sure, but the work happens now. This is post-Roe America now. So which means, especially for us who are pro-life, this is where we go help our pregnancy centers. This is where we help women in crisis. This is where we help adoption services, foster care. This is where we are helping legal services. This is where the actual fight begins, because the left, they always say, oh, you're only pro-birth. Like, no. For those of us who are actually pro-life, we are actually caring for the women. We actually care for the women. We actually care for the men to be responsible. You're like, it should be a no-brainer that women should take care of their children. It should be a no-brainer that men should take care of the women and their children. We should be the provider. And it is the left who's saying that we don't need the men in the family, we don't need fathers, we don't need mothers to be actual mothers. You know, to go back into the pendulum swing. I think this is the biggest thing. I'll leave it to someone else to jump in because I'm really excited. But this is on the left. This is the left's it's their fault. It's their fault because they're the ones, the left, the moderates, they didn't stop it when they said, God bless abortions. No, hard stop. When they said things like up until ninth term abortions at Virginia, like, no, hard stop. When it's on the left for doing this, if they didn't stop it. So yes, if the pendulum is gonna swing and it's gonna go back to the states because you guys didn't. It wasn't enough for y'all for the left, sorry. It wasn't enough for the left to be in the 90s status quo of safe, legal, and rare, right? And now they wanted to push all the way to 9 months, to abortion, to infanticide. No, of course we're going to push back. And thankfully, God willing, it did. And so, sorry, I'm really passionate about this.
Mitch,
and so
Mitch,
I'll jump into you guys.
It's not only 9 months, Mitch. It's not only 9 months. There were reports made when the mother who was giving birth and the child was already out. I decided that she's gonna have abortion. They literally killed babies. They literally murdered babies. It does. It happened. It's happening. See, that's a problem with this country now, and maybe the world. It has become a godless society.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's a problem. Go ahead.
Will somebody take the pressure or the blood?
And the question is, you know, the good question is, when did we allow that as a society? As a modern society, as the
recently,
right? Like no, you know, you talk to some of this pro-choice people. They always say, well, you know, obviously the first reason they always say it's my body, my choice. Okay, let's put that aside for a little bit, and then the second, well, how about if you get raped? How about if you you become pregnant because of incest? Okay, you know what? Yeah, it happened. I'm sorry, it happened. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, the baby did not choose to be born, okay? So that's their right to be born. It's not your right to take them away. If you look on your anatomy, we're gonna go science, okay, there's this female body and there's this one little body inside, which is not part of your body, all right? But we, like I said, our society got into the point that, you know, because of their choice as a carrier, that it's their right to do whatever they want. No, it's not your choice. It's not your choice because you decided to have intercourse with someone and not be responsible, but whatever the product of that intercourse will be, now you don't want to be responsible to taking care of your baby. You know, there's a lot of responsible people out there that eager to have a baby because they can financially, emotionally do it, but they're having a hard time. And you guys, they just want to do this for fun. And now that something happened, a miracle happened, you guys don't want to be responsible for it.
You know, when it comes to abortion, the left, the progressive, the liberals would say, my body, my choice. But when it comes to mandating vaccine,
exactly.
You cannot say, my arm is my choice. So it doesn't apply to them. Or they want us to say, your body is not yours. You just take this mandate. Anyway, that was just a thought.
I think part of it too is that we relinquished the argument to them. I want to piggyback on that. Like, okay, what if we agree just on if it endangered a woman's health and if it's rape? Because that's what they keep arguing with us. I was like, okay, what if we just give you that? They go, no. It should be for anything. So you could hear where they really want. So you would have to argue with point by point. And I like watching Ben Shapiro just obliterate them on their arguments, because they're okay, let's just give it to you. If it's incest, rape, or it endangers your health, then we'll allow it. Everything else is off the table. And then they'll say like, no, we mean everything's on the table. And I said, well, then you really don't really care about, the baby then. That you're admitting that it's more than just rape and incest or the woman's health. So
yeah, and I want to add something to that. Another argument that goes along with the rape and stuff is, what about the baby's overall life afterwards if it has like Down syndrome or has all these other ailments? And my response to that is, it's your child. It's God has given you a gift of life, and love your child. You know, make it, you know, give it the best life it can have. Don't just terminate it when you think it's going to be bad for you or bad for the child. You know, you got to bring love in it. And they're always saying, you know, love, not hate. Well, this really shows that they really hate, and a lot of times these pro-abortion people are just plain evil.
Well, and another thing too, like I always tell this to people, right? Like, you know, well, okay, well, if you want to born, you know, the child and you want to put in adoption, and I said, okay, yeah, put in adoption. I guarantee you this, right? If the baby ever grew up and became like something like somebody successful, right? A millionaire or business owner, whatever, somebody has a name out there, right? Guess who is the first person who's gonna knock on their door saying that, hey, you know what? I'm your biological parent.
Yeah.
It's gonna be them. I guarantee you that.
That's true. That's really true.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember a minister, I forgot, he's a very famous evangelist. I can't remember the name now. The mother was about to abort the child the last minute. She listened to the ministering of a friend, and she decided, okay, the last minute of the abortion, that was to happen. Now that baby that person became a very famous televangelist. He's still ministering. I remember the wife. The wife's name is Betty. I thought I could remember the name of that person. So that could happen, especially what you said, June, about that. You're right about that. Go ahead, Cesar. So say something.
I was just going to, we talked a little bit about the moral implications, the religious implications of Roe v. Wade, but there's got to be something more. I know that there's a money part to it. If you follow the Planned Parenthood and all the allegations, I don't know if it's now proven to be true, about commercializing baby parts.
Yes, it's true.
So it's been, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that who would not benefit from this striking down of Roe v. Wade? And I think, are those the people who are raising all this ruckus, all this demonstrations? So I'm just, there's got to be another force behind this protest all over the country.
Yeah, a lot of these protests and rallies are supported by big money. You know, they are. We just didn't know exactly who they are.
Well, what I wanted to say is actually now, you know how they're trying to, there's some organization out there was trying to do a world population control. Mm-hmm. So this kind of like doesn't go with their agenda because we overturned the Roe versus Wade. Now it's a big issue for them.
Yeah.
Okay, now since you mentioned the Planned Parenthood, so they're like the biggest, you know, one of the government funding goes to them. And so they're like the biggest crier out there because now if you don't have any clients to go to your clinic where it's supposed to be, it's called Planned Parenthood, take care of the whatever women issue is, you're not really doing that. You're aborting kids, okay? Yeah. So it's a big loss for them if they're not getting federal funding.
Yeah.
Of course, last time they were given 800 million. Planned Parenthood was given 800 million. That's a lot of money, you know, killing babies. Who benefit? You know, those people are working there and killing babies.
That's why, and that's the reason why the left are so eager to support Planned Parenthood, because these are the type of voters they got. Okay, the more you give something to them, the more they vote, the more they get the.
But you know what? The Planned Parenthood and those people who are recipients of government money, they donate to the Democrats.
Mm. Yeah,
they do. They give the money and then they donate to their.
It's a circle. It's a circle.
Yeah, like the BLM. The BLM. That's what they did. They donated back to the DNC.
Edwin, when are we gonna hear about the status of your candidacy?
I don't know. It's all to the state. You know, hopefully in the next few weeks, but or next before the 7th, I believe. But one thing, you know, going back to the whole abortion, if you listen to some of the pro-abortion people, One thing that sounds, that they're trying to make a point is that because the other parts of the world are less restrictive, and I find that hard to believe. Just doing a little Google search, it seems like there's a few countries that are less restrictive on abortion than the United States, but those countries are like China, but other European countries like France and Spain, they do have limitations of like 16, 14 weeks. It's not like, the day of your birth that you could have an abortion. But when I hear other people talk about, the United States is horrible, it's horrible. No, it's not. And some of the other countries that they talk about are, really bad countries like China. And if we want to be associated with that type of evil, I think it's just real sad about about that.
Yeah, if people will really understand how this abortion started, and Planned Parenthood is just a facade. It's a woman named Sanger, last name.
Yes. Margaret
her first
Sanger.
name Elizabeth. What's the first name?
Margaret
Elizabeth?
Sanger.
Margaret Sanger.
Margaret Sanger. Okay, she wanted to abolish the black race. That's the beginning of it.
Yep.
And then Planned Parenthood became just, it's a facade. It's just a front for abortion. They say it's health issue. People don't go there to because they have reproductive issues. People go there 99.9% to abort the babies. To some women go back and forth. And you know what? The government even fund these people, like at work, if they will use it as a medical leave just to kill babies. They have extra money. They can get themselves pregnant and then go to the abortion clinic so they could get extra money. It's really sad that's happened.
I don't know if you guys heard this. There's this sports company. I think it's Dickies or Big. I think it's more Dickies than Big Five. That they're giving their staff, whoever their female staff that actually did an abortion, $5,000. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Why? Like you're actually encouraging them to do it? Are you serious, man?
Okay, team, Johan just texted me 3 minutes to go. So please be cognizant of our time. I will go ahead and call on Rachel first. Rachel, your last word to our listeners and to us, your staff.
I just want to encapsulate the whole thing with Roe v. Wade and what's going on in the schools. I think really it's a cultural war. I think as long as they could cut us down morally and try to help it, and they're pushing this, keep your religion out of it. And so the other ruling today was that they allowed this coach, to pray. So I think what they're trying to do is have us believers, Christians, separate our morals from our everyday lives. And I feel like they're doing that so much so that they're infiltrating in the classrooms as well. And so just to also reiterate that the charter schools, they do have a board, and the parents, when they start making a stink about something, the board will listen. As far as CCSD, they ignore the parents. So I think that's why you're going to see more and more people pushing towards charter schools, because the board actually does listen to the parents when they start to complain. But I think Roe v. Wade is a moral and cultural issue, and they're trying to push this. I think they're doing this because they see the DNC is losing a lot of traction, and they're afraid of the red wave. And I think this Roe v. Wade is their good push to campaign, raise money for campaigning. So I think that's probably what they're going to do from now until November, is push this Roe v. Wade and have people donate to these campaigns.
Thank you. Go ahead, JUN.
Yes, thank you for another great show, everyone, whoever is listening to us or watching us tonight. Please, I know everybody has their own opinion here. You can do your own research. You can please educate yourself and know what's going on. Not everything around you, not just locally or like in the whole world, pretty much. Okay, there's a big thing going on out there. So please be educated. Do your own research, and please stay awake, not woke. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dolly.
As a believer, I believe that heaven opens its door for us to live. That America has done a great thing for us to having Roe v. Wade being overturned. And after 61 million babies were killed for 50 years because of this federal ruling, now we can say that America will be blessed so much, and there's going to be a red wave all across the United States.
Thank you, Edwin.
Oh, great show, everybody, and nice meeting you, Rachel. And I really appreciate you as a teacher again, and I hope you continue to look in the future about running in other races. And and I really admire you. With that said, lively discussion today, and I choose life, love, and happiness.
Thank you, Edwin. Cesar?
Yeah. Rachel, I also agree with the thoughts that you've given us. That's why I've taken my granddaughter and put her into a Doral Academy from CCSD. And two of my other grandkids are on homeschooling. So it really is bad, especially I just can't get off this they, them, he, she, all those pronoun things. I don't know how I'm going to correct papers when I see them or they, So, thank you again, and hopefully you'll run for another position this upcoming cycle, and we need to really make some revisions in our education system.
Okay, Mitch?
Thank you again, Rachel, for being with us. Pro-life is pro-human, pro-humanity. We are all created equal under the God, and so just be sure those actions are not just. Be sure those words are not just words or actions. So humanity begins in the womb.
Thank
Amen.
you so much, Rachel. Thank you, and I hope you run again next election.
Yeah.
We will campaign for you. Use our radio show for your support. And Edwin, we're crossing our fingers for you, my dear, and hope you win. Please.
Yes, Edwin, 2 thumbs up for you.
Okay.
And,
Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you so much, my dear co-host. I love you, and thank you for a good show.
Love you too.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you again.
Thank you.